Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Julian, and this is the Mixed Bag Mondays for July 16th. We're right in
For the week of July 16th.
the week of July 16th. Mixed Bag Mondays, baby. Episode 2. How we feeling? What's going on, Jake? How's Switch gaming for you? You playing some Paladins?
Yeah, I'm playing Paladins. I have a lot of games on the go right now. As people might know if they, frequent our Twitter or check our brand new website. Recently in Canada, they had a thing where you could price match games at a shop here called The Source, which used to be Circuit City.
Oh,
I
damn,
think
dude!
that
I
was the
haven't
name.
thought about Circuit City in so long. That's what we had those here in
Yeah.
California. I think they were a
So
national chain, but
so I was able to get Skyrim, Pokken Tournament DX, Super Bomberman R, and Kirby Star Allies for $70.
that's a pretty good, and that's
Which,
70 Canadian,
yeah, so
which
that's
like
less than a full price game.
55. Yeah, that which is
Yeah,
crazy because
I was
it
only able to get it for that price because I did have a gift card.
right.
So I paid. It would have cost like 100, but I only paid 70 cash, which is not that bad. Um,
Yeah,
so
that's
yeah, I've
still
been kind
really
of
good.
juggling all these games. We got Octopath, Captain Toad, but I've just been finding myself in the position right now just to play games in short bursts. So yeah, like you said, Paladins, Fortnite. Um, but I'm trying to get back into like Octopath or something. I need
Yeah.
to I need to get into that because that's probably going to be my game of the year.
Oh man,
How
that's
about you?
hype.
What have you been playing?
So I just got Octopath at the end of last week, and
Hmm.
for me myself, like I love JRPGs, but like the really classic core JRPGs, stuff like the like Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 2,
Hmm.
uh, Chrono Trigger, and then I like games that mimic that have come out more recently, like Bravely Default. All
Yeah.
these are Square or SquareSoft games, Square Enix games. So they clearly have a formula that works and I enjoy. Um, and it's not something I get to play that often because they seem to not come out as often as they used to. Or if they do, I don't recognize them as such and don't play them.
Yeah.
Um,
I think as of late, most of those games that you would be interested in actually come out on 3DS.
yeah, and the
Um,
3DS to me, like as much as I hate to think about it, it's kind of dead to me. Like,
yeah, I mean, it came out in what, 2011,
yeah, it's
I
been out.
think.
It's been out for a long time, and they've consistently, probably almost every year, have come out with upgrades to it or different styles, like the 2DS, the 3DS XL,
Hmm.
the new Nintendo 3DS. Uh, and that's cool and all, and I can still appreciate it for what it is. I still have my Pokemon 20th anniversary 3DS, which I was so hyped that I was able to
I was
get
so
that.
jealous. I
Yeah, dude.
wasn't able to find that.
Yeah.
Here's a little fun fact about me. I've had, I think, what I can remember, what I can recollect right now, I've had a total of 9 different 3DSs over the years.
That's crazy.
Just because I started off with the generic black one that came out in like 2011.
Yeah.
Then I traded that in for an XL. Then I traded that in for a new XL. Blah blah blah. But as of right now, I just have the Animal Crossing small 3DS and
Hmm.
the one with changeable faceplates, and then the Majora's Mask 3DS, which I love.
Right. That one's kind of like a collector's item, sort of, right?
Yeah. One day I was just walking around Best Buy and I found out they were really cheap.
Damn.
Um, so yeah, or not really cheap. Sorry, it was like the only one there. So I was
Right.
like, well, I can't not get it.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been playing Octopath pretty heavily throughout the weekend, and I think I'm about 11 hours in.
Hmm.
And it's
Yeah, you
really
didn't play
good.
any of the demos, did you?
No, I didn't. I played like the very first demo they put out, which was like their
Like a
beta
year ago.
test. Yeah, and it was, I remember playing it then and not really getting into it. There was just something about it that kind of put me off, and I
Yeah.
I think that a lot of other people felt the same, and they certainly had a lot of feedback and constructive
Which I'm
criticism.
gonna say that like this is a game. A lot of games nowadays market. Oh, we're doing a beta test, but it's really like a week before launch. Which
Yeah.
that's not a beta test. That's just a demo. It's a PR thing. But this game, I wish I had the first demo on my Switch still because I would like to compare it. So hopefully somebody will do that out there. But I know that they switched a lot of stuff around because
Yeah.
this was a year in advance, and they actually took people's feedback. There's videos of them, the developers actually talking about taking the feedback to heart and then
Yeah,
switching
yeah.
things.
They
You
did
know,
that in the Nintendo Direct, I think, where they
yeah,
had the developers come on and explain that they listened to people who played and they wanted to make the game as you know uh,
good as they could.
good as they could, right, for people who were going to play it, and they did a good job, I think, and I think some people in the gaming journalistic machine have thought that this game has weak points, and it I could see why, but
Well, I mean, every
um,
game has weak points,
oh
right?
yeah, for sure. But I was the weak points that they point out seem to be mostly focused on the story and it being kind of weak in parts, and I think that that's due in part to like the way that video game stories are told nowadays. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's sitting at an 84 on Metacritic, which I think is pretty damn good.
yeah, yeah,
But
it
a
seems
lot
to
of
be
people
getting
these days will
positive
see
feedback too.
anything lower than 90, they'll be like, "Oh, it's not worth playing," which is ridiculous. And I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
there's been a
a
few
critic's
reviews
world.
out there for Octopath that I'm not going to name them, but I think are just too nitpicky.
Yeah,
I mean, when you go into review a game and you already hate JRPGs, like, what's the point? You're just going to shit on the game for no reason.
yeah, and
I
I
mean,
mean, you have to have like when you review games, you have to have a totally unbiased opinion. You can't
yeah.
because it
I mean,
has it.
as unbiased as you can be.
Yeah, I mean,
I
certainly
mean,
you
we've
want your
had,
review to have your own unique voice to it, but you
yeah,
also have to look at it from not just the perspective of why that game might not be good for you, but
yeah.
how it's good for the people who enjoy that type of game.
Mhm. I
Um,
mean, we've had opportunities to review games, and I've turned them down just because I think this isn't a type of game that I'll like, so I'm not gonna go in and review it with a bias. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So like
yeah,
I
I
don't
feel
want
that.
to. I'm sure there's a game out there that I don't like that a lot of people will like because it's in a genre that I just don't like point and click or slower
Hmm.
games like that. Like I could see myself going into a review biased and just being like, I don't like this game, it's boring, which I don't think is fair.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. Um,
Hmm.
so Octopath is really good.
Yeah.
And as same with last week and what's going to be going on throughout the rest of the summer is there's not too many video game releases that are of note. I
Hmm.
do want to make mention that this week, tomorrow I think is, or I'm sorry, no, it's next week that the Mega Man X collection comes out.
Okay.
This week,
Yeah.
the only things that come out are Sonic Mania Plus, which is just like an expanded version of Sonic Mania, and there's an Adventure Time game coming out, but I don't care about that. Um, so yeah, Mega Man
It's
X
worth
is next
noting the
week.
Sonic Mania Plus. If you did purchase the initial game for $15, you only need to pay $5 for the.
Oh, really? They allow that? Okay. Well, do you
Yeah.
know what's in Sonic Mania Plus? I'm not even sure
There's like
what's.
3 new characters. Like every level has been revamped. There's more gameplay options. I think there's more, just more overall game there. You
Can
know
you
what I
play
mean?
as Big the Cat? If you
I don't
can't play
know.
as Big the Cat, I don't want to.
You can play as some character named Ray.
Ray. I've never heard. Is that? I've never heard of that character. Well,
I
I'm
don't. It's
looking
Ray
on
Romano.
Amazon right now. Oh, this is the collector's edition. The collector's edition of Sonic Mania is $80,
Yeah.
which comes with like a Sonic figure standing on a Sega Mega Drive, which is pretty cool. Um, anyway, okay, yeah. So not much going on this week of note. Mega Man X next week, and also No Man's Sky next week on Xbox One, which is interesting. And it's also, I think, the launch of their multiplayer, and I'll probably do something with that. I want to do a video
As
exploring.
much as that game got shit on, I think it was. I mean, obviously they lied about a lot of things, but I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot.
Oh
But
yeah, totally.
from all I've heard in the last like few updates, like the game is just really good now.
Yeah, I think that they did exactly what they needed to do to get back from the hole that they dug for themselves. Because
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember, like when that game came out, they once people realized that it was not the game that was marketed to them, like because
Yeah.
it
It
clearly
wasn't.
was not at all. Like it was as outright of a lie as you could be
Yeah.
with game. And you know, we see a lot of that. These
You
this
know what? I don't understand how they didn't get like sued or something.
Well, that's the thing is like so it's an interesting topic to think about because like a game with No Man's Sky and a lot of other games that get shown at E3 and stuff, and I've experienced this firsthand. Like, is what they'll
Sea of
do.
Thieves.
Yeah, like what they'll do is they'll show gameplay trailer, quote unquote, and it's all scripted. Like
Yeah.
it's not someone. They make it seem like someone's actually playing the game when they're not.
Yeah.
And that's happened a lot. They did it with No Man's Sky multiple times. I mean, Sean Murray, the game's director, was even on like live TV on like Conan or some shit showing No Man's Sky, and
Yeah.
you got to think maybe that was scripted too, like the gameplay was. Um, and so when the product is released and you see how much of a lie it was, it's pretty crazy. But they what they did is you know, Hello Games, once that game came out, they're the creators of the game. They just went completely silent. Like they offered no
Yeah. They
response
just
to it. They didn't
ignored
say
everyone.
anything. They're like, yeah, you know, we're just gonna walk away with our tail between our legs because everyone hates our game. Um, but yeah, since then, that was 2 years ago, coming up in August, and
Wow, 2 years.
they've revamped the game pretty heavily, and they're adding actual multiplayer. They had some previous multiplayer mode before, but it wasn't what you would think it would be or what was originally marketed to us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they're actually having this full multiplayer mode come out, and that interests me. And so I'll be trying it out on PS4 and PC probably to see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's next week on July 24th. But yeah, then we can get into stuff that comes out in August next week and the week after. Um, in terms of videos and stuff this week, no plan yet. Giveaway is gonna officially start this week, and that's the giveaway for three $20 gift cards. We've done
Mm-hmm.
this giveaway before. We did it at the end of last year, and we had a Twitter poll and a general poll about what this giveaway should be, and it turns out people want the three $20 gift cards for more winners instead of just one winner. So that is what we are going to do, and we'll have the Gleam set up this week and the video explaining how to get involved in that also probably going up today along with this episode of Mixed Bag Mondays. And yeah, that's it for this week. So more Fortnite stuff probably.
Yeah.
I don't see why we wouldn't. We're back into Fortnite fully now. So
Yeah, for
especially you,
sure.
you're fucking, you can't stop, dude. You're addicted.
Okay, let's take it easy. Let's take it down a notch.
All right, this has been your weekly episode of Mixed Bag Mondays.